As windows a lot have to change. And
That's right.
yeah, what I was thinking,
So
we could maybe bring you into this picture.
But all my software is not, it's just stuff that's not backward compatible.
Oh, okay.
And it was really expensive.
Yeah.
And that was 30 years ago, so
Where's,
to try to, it's
yeah.
prohibitive to try to.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Is that,
then it's.
I'm trying to
Usually
go
comes in right at the
in a
last minute.
different direction, but trying to.
Where's the shit under this?
separate
I used to. He
is-
may be able to do it.
That one, yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
I cannot update that system.
Oh, okay.
The prices at the point, it's
Yeah.
impossible. The price of replacing it all. It's insane, but that's on him to do, but different direction.
Oh. Okay.
T.
remember what you wrote?
Yeah.
T.
There's an R in there.
There's a lot of words. Didn't you say there's no T?
Do a vowel.
E. I would. Skibbity toilet room.
No R.
Or T's. I'm missing a few. I. Ship gonna sail soon.
Yeah.
What is it?
She got it.
Ship gonna sail someday. He said it was a song.
She got it.
I had to crop myself out of that picture. He doesn't take pictures by himself. It was to crop myself, one of the kids, or the dog out.
That's wrong.
That was good.
I tried all week.
I know, all like, all lot.
There's a video that runs after the first two songs. There's a separate video.
Okay. After the first two songs?
Yeah, like when this song's over and the first song plays. And then you need to advance the slide and play the.
So watch the video too?
Part of the opening music goes to separate.
Okay.
video, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
Whatever she tells me to do.
It reminded me. Built together, built on, built on this is the appropriate.
And I love that they did things intentionally and felt like to like take back the idea that only people on the right are patriotic. That only people on the right are religious. That don't, or even Christian. Like they did some very intentionally Christian things that I was like, that's not for me, but I'm glad that people, who are looking for that can find it on our side too. Yeah. Instead of just white Christian national.
I think you have to stop it whenever trying to let somebody in.
Yeah. I don't know where, it's don't even have the option to like.
It's, because
Yeah.
there's more participants.
Everybody's well represented. But it was fantastic.
So
I know.
maybe I did before. But next time there's a pause in music.
Yes.
That's, yeah.
Okay. Susan said after the first two songs, there's a video that we have to advance to play.
Okay.
This one, I guess.
Okay.
And then he needs to be let in. I said, I can't do that right
We'll have to do it when we
now. Advance the song.
bring, yeah. You can't do it right now. That's all the music's. Yeah.
Try.
No. Oh, my phone. Sorry, but you have to wait. I'm just like, no.
Yes. Oh. Wait, it's you? You.
Just an S.
I. What?
Very
Oh, oh.
No, no, this is.
Oh,
There you
yeah.
go, sir.
B.
What'd you say?
How you like this?
She likes the. I always.
When I do something in advance, I'm like, what's this like?
Yesterday, I was gonna change a few of them, like just not from something visually different.
I like that you did.
But I managed my time poorly yesterday.
Let me get it. Got it.
I knew that was good.
Yeah, I was gonna get these stuff.
I get some. So I-
Way hard in a journal. So I.
E. I am. Right. What?
Well, I know that there was no person.
C.
So
C.
person representing.
It's the Bruce one's the video, right?
Yeah, that's next.
I was asking if the pulpit camera could be turned to face something more, but I don't know what it is.
That's
Oh, right there. How do you advance?
there.
There we go.
There.
B is in base. Obviously not. That video more. Sound like I was like,
From-
sound like
Portland.
It's
Oh.
Those were folks from First Unitarian in Brooklyn. So that massive antique pulpit behind them is part of their actual sanctuary. And one of the guys in that group is one of the two organizers of that How Can I Keep From Singing video with all of the people that we enjoy so much. Good morning. Good morning. Nice to have y'all here. You know, we get together because we want to learn how to respect people with differing paths and opinions, even if that's hard to remember sometimes. We get together because we all want to work to make the world a little bit better. And we understand that no one has a monopoly on truth or compassion. And that in order to accomplish those things, we have to work together. And it's easier to accomplish big things when we do it in community. So, whoever you are, whatever your age, race, origin, orientation, background, status, ability, identity, history, persuasions, perhaps. If you care to be here with us in a sense of mutual respect, you are always welcome. And we have a little bit of front-loaded information here, so I'm gonna invite our board person of the day, Rebecca Tuttle. She's the treasurer, bless her heart.
And that's the real bless your heart. Yes, exactly. Bless your heart. Not the southern version.
Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. Glad to have you here. Our giveaway to plate this month, each month we take anything that is donated that is not designated to pledge here at All Souls to a worthy, local group, who upholds our eight principles. And this month it is the Second Chance at Life Foundation. If you were lucky enough to be here, or be there watching, when Curtis Davis was here speaking about second chance of life. And it's kind of unthinkable to me that we don't have something for people trying to bridge the gap between leaving prison and getting out into society, but we don't. And so Second Chance at Life Foundation, that is what they are dedicated to doing. So anything that you are willing to give that is not dedicated to pledge is definitely going to go to them this month. We do not pass the basket anymore here. We actually have it stationed at the front or the back, depending on your viewpoint, of the sanctuary. So please be generous and thank you. Our volunteer of the month this month is James Patrick. James. Yeah, because it take me too long to list everything that James does to you. For all. So we're just keeping it brief. I've served on the board with him. He also has been part of the worship committee. He runs sound, when Taylor, his daughter, is not up there running it for him. And he and his wife, but I mean, we're aiming on things today. So James Peck, volunteer of the month, thank you so much for everything. So I'm going to go back to all. Thank you all for being here.
Oh, fine.
So I just want to make a quick announcement on behalf of the Peace Alliance, which is the group that is exploring veganism, that there is going to be another vegan potluck next week. And we really encourage you, you don't have to be vegan to come and enjoy. If you are looking for recipes,
We make efforts to wake others and to remain fully present ourselves. Occasionally we rouse from our trance to remember our wholeness. For a time we embody unsentimental love. Our lives and our time here together are made sacred by our striving for the next 60 minutes and the rest of our lives to be more aware of the spirit of life evolving through and among us. May we find ourselves grateful for our own individual place and time and space, with gratitude for the family, the relationships, and the teachers that touch us, change us, stir something in us that helps us find our way to being genuine, to being compassionate, to being present. Would anyone like to help lead the first part of our chalice lighting?
We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart. Together, with mind, hands, and heart, we care for the earth and for each other.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll get it. In betwixt and in between, we move in the liminal spaces that show shades of what can become, what can be. We light this chalice as a symbol of courage to move into that time of this and that, of not this and not that, with patience and faith and love and hope that the time will come, that the time is coming, that our time is precious, that our time matters, that this time will pass. Like the sun that moves in between rising and setting, reminding us that beauty resounds in betwixt and in between. Would you please rise in body or spirit and say with me the unison affirmation as you're comfortable? Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with each other. Our opening song is When the Spirit Says Do. I'm going to feed you the words as we go along. So we're going to start with when the Spirit says do, then we're going to say you got to listen, then we're going to say talk. I'll give them to you as we get there again. Play, dance. This is about to feed back. Work, and connect, which is hard to sing. So the last one before we are doing again is going to be a challenge. Here we go. You got to do when the Spirit says do. You got to do when the Spirit says do.
When the Spirit says do, you got to do. Oh Lord, you got to do when the Spirit says do. 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 You got to listen when the Spirit says listen. You got to listen when the Spirit says listen. When the Spirit says listen, you got to listen, oh Lord. You got to listen when the Spirit says listen. 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 You got to talk when the Spirit says talk. You got to talk when the Spirit says talk. When the Spirit says talk, you got to talk, oh Lord. You got to talk when the Spirit says talk. 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 You got to play when the Spirit says play. You got to play when the Spirit says play. When the Spirit says play, you got to play, oh Lord. You got to play when the Spirit says play. 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 You gotta dance. You got to dance when the Spirit says dance. When the Spirit says dance, you got to dance, oh Lord. You got to dance when the Spirit says dance. 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 You got to work when the Spirit says work. You got to work when the Spirit says work. When the Spirit says work, you got to work, oh Lord. You got to work when the Spirit says work. 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 You gotta connect when the Spirit says connect. You gotta connect when the Spirit says connect. When the Spirit says connect, you got to connect, oh Lord. You got to connect when the Spirit says connect. 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 Thank you.
So there once was a boy named Lewis. And Lewis was a pretty decent student in school, and he had some friends that he really liked, a few close friends especially that he really liked. But the things he really liked to do more than anything were either watch TV or play games on his phone, sometimes both at the same time. And he would do this for hours and hours and hours. More time would go by than he realized. Anybody experienced this phenomenon maybe before, possibly? Or scrolling, maybe, scrolling social media. But yeah, he would watch TV. He'd play games on his phone, and sometimes, and they lived in a house near, beautiful wooded area with trails and everything. And so every now and then his parents would say, Lewis, turn off the TV, put down the phone, and go outside and play. Anybody ever heard that? Maybe. And so he would go outside, but a lot of times he'd take the phone with him and be playing games on his phone outside. And one day he had kind of walked into the woods a little ways, and he was sitting on a rock, playing games on his phone, looking up. And all of a sudden, he heard this big noise, and as he looked up, he saw something he'd never seen before. He saw a wizard, like a storybook kind of wizard. He had they had the robe and the hat with the stars, the whole bit. And the wizard's walking along kind of grumbly and looking at the ground. And Lewis sees this huge boulder that's rolling down the hill, and it's aiming straight at the wizard. And without even thinking, he jumps up, grabs the wizard off the trail just as the boulder rolls by. Would have crushed him. It was huge. And the wizard is so grateful. The wizard says, thank you, young man. What is your name? And Lewis says, well, my name is Lewis, and I live in the house right down here. And he said, I'm so grateful that I want to give you something today. I want to give you a very special gift. He said, I need to show you a magic well that's known only to the local wizard population. And Lewis said, well, I'm not allowed to go anywhere with strangers. I'm sorry, my parents have taught me this. And the wizard said, you don't have to go anywhere. And waves their hand, and suddenly there is a well where there wasn't a well before. One of those old-fashioned wells with kind of brick and has the little bucket that drips down, that drops down into the water. And he said, okay, this is different. And so the wizard says, I'll now give you a gift from the well. And suddenly from the well appears this really cool mountain bike. And Lewis is like, whoa, well, that's kind of awesome. So he gets on the bike and he's riding around the trails and he's having a great time when suddenly the mountain bike disappears out from under him. Now, luckily he had really good balance and he kind of was able to save himself there. But he said, what was that all about? Then he looks back at the well and he sees there's a costume of Wolverine, his favorite X-Man. And he puts the costume on, and now he's Wolverine, and he is having the greatest time, and he's roaming through the woods. And it's all so wonderful. And then all of a sudden, poof, he's back in his regular clothes, and the Wolverine costume is no more. No spiky fingernails or anything. And so he's going, what is this? He said, these are great gifts, and other things came up, different kinds of games and a frisbee and all kinds of wonderful stuff, but it would all be there for just a few minutes and then it would go away. And he asked the wizard, what's the deal here? Like, these are wonderful gifts and I really appreciate them, but why do they just go away like that? And the wizard said, well, we've just all in the wizard community kind of agreed that the gifts are better this way, that we enjoy them in the moment, as opposed to maybe getting tired of them later on. So after a while, Lewis can hear, it's getting close to dark, and Lewis can hear his family calling him for dinner. He says, well, I'm going to have to go. And the wizard says, you probably won't see me again. You won't be able to find this well again, but I want to give you something to remember me by. And the wizard gives Lewis a little wrapped gift. He says, this is like a miniature version of the well. So when you use it, when you look at it, and when you use it, you can think of me. And Lewis is thinking, whoa, well, that's kind of cool. So he goes home, he puts the gift up in his room, he eats dinner with his family, and then he's so excited to go up to his room and open the gift. He said, I'm going to have this well, and I can have these gifts for a little bit of time, and wow, won't this be cool? And when he opens it up, All it is, it's a clock. It's a clock with a picture of him having fun at the well. And he says, okay, it had to be too good to be true, whatever. And so he picks up his phone and he's playing games on his phone again. And after a while, he sees the picture burst into 1,000 pieces. And instead of a picture of him having fun, it's a picture of him being sad and bored. And he thought, well, okay, that's kind of weird. But he keeps on, playing with his phone. A few minutes later, that picture disintegrates, and there's another picture of him being sad and bored. And he said, this is really weird. And this happens a few times over the course of maybe, 30 minutes to an hour. And all of a sudden, it dawns on him. What were the real gifts of the well? What were the real gifts? Yeah, Ava. Appreciation and also experience, happiness, all of these things. Living in the moment. Yes. You had the appreciation, you had the happiness, all of the things that you said. It was a gift of time. He said, it was the minutes. It was always the minutes that the wizard gave me. That's what was important. And so from that day on, it's not like he quit watching TV or quit playing games on his phone, but he tried to watch just the shows he was really interested in and not just leave it, running. And he played the games that he thought were really fun and not just, let me find this other game so I can sit here and put off everything else I want to do. And he learned things he never learned before. He spent more time with the friends he had, and he made new friends. And he learned a lot more in school. He became more interested in the things he was doing in school. He looked at every moment as a gift, because that's what the wizard had given him, the gift of time. So this week, as you go to school, to work, to wherever you go and whatever you do, think about that. Think about the gifts of time that you've been given and how you're going to use them, okay? Let's sing the kids out to their class. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
As we move towards our quiet time, the quiet time among us, let us invite the spirit of life in us and around us to be a sense of presence. Here is our chance, once again, to live like we wish the world would live. May we find within ourselves the courage to be who we are. May we know when it's time to listen, when it's time to speak. May we trust ourselves to be the ones to find the words that need to be said, or to do what needs to be done. May we trust one another and know there are many ways to go through life. May we know that though we cannot change some of what life gives to us, we can change and choose how we deal with what we are given. We're coming into our power, and together we can make possible justice and love. We are all connected. We depend on one another more than we know. We are one body. May we remember this. Who we're called to be along the way. Let us pause to listen to the unheard world. Relax into a comfortable position. Breathe in very slowly, in and out. Quiet ourselves and listen to the rhythm of our own breath. Our own heart. Listen to the internal silence. You will think something. Let it pass into you and through you. You will feel something. Let it pass into you and through you. Spend some time in the unheard world. We begin to return now to the world we usually hear. As you do, try to bring something of that unheard world with you. And remember to give yourself permission to return to the unheard world. Amen.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Oh, for each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Oh, for each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time, daughters of dust, and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy, brothers of love, lovers of life, and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth, keepers of faith, makers of peace, and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time, daughters of dust, and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy, brothers of love, lovers of life, and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are one.
Carl Sandburg wrote, "Time is the coin of your life. It's the only coin you have, and only you can determine how it will be spent. Be careful lest you let other people spend it for you." Doing a little internet investigation from AI Overview, from Clockify, and from Deputy.com. Over the course of a lifetime, Americans on average will spend more time working than they will relaxing. On average, residents of Washington, D.C. will work more time, and those who live in West Virginia and Alaska will work less than the average. You spend between 26 and 28 years of a normal length life, whatever that is. It didn't tell me that. 26 and 28 years sleeping, and 7 years trying to get to sleep. You spend between 13 and 15 years working and doing work-related activities. Now, I'm thinking this is paid work. I don't know that it counts yard work and housework. And you spend between 11 and 13 on leisure activities, and I don't know if that includes housework and yard work. More than 7 years doing household chores. But I don't know which ones those include. Is cooking a chore or is it a leisure activity? I'm an INFP, so those things in Myers-Briggs that say I have a hard time making decisions, if they don't give me enough information, I won't make a decision. So the default is, it's hard to say. Anyway, compared, 7 years more doing household activities compared with a bit over 5 years socializing and communicating. That's kind of sad to me. Now, I don't know if those running perpetual exchanges that I see people having, young people in particular, if that's included in stats like this. I don't know. You spend 4 years eating and drinking. And I don't know if that's a very generalized figure. I know that it's important to most of us to feel, or pretty much everybody, to feel that our time is worthwhile, that our lives have some meaning, that we are enough, whatever we are. There's a book I was talking about last week, and I think probably the week before, I don't know. There's a lot of it I'd really like to share with y'all, but it's called Life Worth Living, and a lot of that book is dedicated to exploring different schools of understanding about pleasure and pain. Like the Buddhist approach and Nietzsche's approach and Socrates' approach. I mean, it goes through like the Christian answers and the Buddhist answers, and it kind of compares them with each other and takes them all apart. I'm not through with the book, but what I know so far is it's a matter of balancing, because there's always going to be the other. How much you're willing to do to prevent the pain of someone else as opposed to your own pain, or to facilitate the pleasure of someone else compared to your own pleasure, or the combination of the two, is a formula that the book actually gives you questions to help you work out where you land on that. One of the things they talk about is the Center for Effective Altruism. This is a group of people who work like everybody else, but they give between 30 and 50% of their income to causes that alleviate pain for other people, as opposed to the average percent, which is like 3 for most people. And then they raise the question, are the systems that you're helping people have less pain in being perpetuated if you help them have less pain instead of going upstream to try to deal with the things that cause the pain? So it's circles after circles after circles, but every one of them is worth thinking about. And all of them have to do with how we spend our time, what we value in our lives, where we want to put our efforts and energy and respond to the things we see around us, that we learn about, that we try not to learn about, the things we try not to see. I know that the COVID epidemic left just about everybody I encounter feeling tireder than they did before and having a hard time regaining whatever that momentum or stasis was at that point, pre-COVID. I know we're all older, but there's something else in play, and trying to get past that, I think might be a little bit easier if we go back through our priorities and what matters to us. Instead of trying to maybe pick up where we left off, or using the tools that we've always used before, if we will find something that carries us back through really thinking about it, we might find that we are not the same people. We might find that even though this has always given me joy, that's not really filling me up like it used to. You know, maybe we can continue growing through productive creativity, like reading and writing and painting and learning a language, taking up a hobby, working out, getting in better shape, socializing and networking and doing things that matter to us. You know, I don't know how many of you heard the mantra, do something, this past week. But what we do has everything to do with how we feel about our lives and our time and ourselves. Resting is important. Staying connected is important. Statistically, Unitarians and Universalists, or Unitarian Universalists, have more introverts than other religious traditions. It's harder for us to pull ourselves out to connect with one another, statistically. We have some activities here. They may not be our preference of activities, but sometimes we need to try to connect. And if that's not our favorite activity, come up with one that you might enjoy inviting people to join with you. The times that I make it to Building and Grounds, it feels good to see people here working together and to be in community working together. The times I make it to the Highland Blessing Dinner so that we're in community with other communities doing something that's worthwhile, helping people with needs and serving them with dignity, feels good. There's a letter writing campaign after church. There are meetings about trying to consider the way we eat. I was not able to make the last meeting, and I was loaned a DVD that they saw. And it has me thinking about all of it in a different way. I don't know how I'll end up putting it to use. But I know that trying to consider all of those things makes me feel like I'm using my time in a more worthwhile fashion. Games are great. Conversation and time with people we care about is harder to come by because we can get online. We can communicate with people farther away. We can have little text exchanges and feel connected. There are things we don't learn about others if we're not in their presence. So trying to get together makes a difference too. Thomas Merton said something that to me sounds a whole lot like the Wizard of Oz. We have what we seek. It is there all the time. And if we give it time, it will make itself known to us. Listening to the quiet and having spiritual practices are also worthwhile time. We are at a potentially pivotal place in history, and we have the capacity to wield at very least, a little influence. Do we care about defending the work of our ancestors? Our socializing and networking can be utilized to good purpose sometimes. Finding reasons hopefully pleasurable to come together as a community, this community, or serving our own needs and those of the world. No, finding the place where our joy meets the world's need. Who said that? It was one of those difference makers. But finding the place where our joy meets the world's need is how we feed ourselves and the world at the same time. And that made me think of something else from the past week, where a big book could both kill a small animal and democracy at the same time. Forgive me. Let's have a closing song. It's Let It Be a Dance, and we will stand up and let it be a dance. Rise in body or spirit, please. Let it be a dance we do. Let I have this dance with you. Through the good times and bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the night with singing birds. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance, let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead, learn to live and feel the need, to reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you, through the good times and bad times too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. Let your body learn to bend. And like a willow in the wind, let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. A child is born, the old must die. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by, and let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you, for the good times and bad times too. Let it be a dance. The morning star comes out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing's wrong then nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. And I have this dance with you, through the good times and bad times too. Was that the minuet you were doing? It's pretty trendy. Like the cosmic dust following after a great Perseid, how do you say, Perseid meteor shower? Perseus. We are the living remnants of time and all that has come to pass in its wake, briefly shining lights on the way to eternity. We are only visible to the naked eye for an instant. Take this moment to shine like the stardust you are. May the light of our time on earth shine to bless the world and each other. Shine, 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 let it shine. Go in peace.
We are here to be lifted in love. Look at the birds, they tell us. We are here to be lifted in love. Look at the trees, they tell us. We're here to be lifted in love, to listen to love as a flower raises its face to the sun. We are all one here.